the official inauguration of the National Youth Campaign Council for the 2023.
This very important event of the inauguration of the National Youth Campaign Council for Atiku Okowa 2023 presidential bid under the platform of our great party, the PDP. As I welcome you, let me commend the giant strides, the efforts being made by all of our youth across the country under the able leadership of the youth leader, Mohammed Suleiman Kadadi. Build the youth. I didn't hear that. Build the youth. You remain a very critical component of this movement towards rescuing Nigeria, towards reunifying Nigeria, towards the establishment of peace in Nigeria, and towards its full and total recovery from all of the elements that are bedeviling our nation today. As I welcome you, you will hear from our leaders, and the charge, I'm sure, is that we shall go out there to conquer and deliver our polling booth, our wards, our local councils, and indeed our states and the entire federation to the People's Democratic Party from February to March 2023. I welcome you all. God bless you.
PDP say this is a challenge to the youth constituency. Let me say, I want to thank our father, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and the PCC for giving us the opportunity to serve in the Presidential Campaign Council. This is not the time for the youth to be displaying ego. This is the time to go out there and work, consult, relate with the youth constituency so that we can have a positive result come 2023 election. I have no doubt in my mind that this team of youth assembled together can deliver. Once again, we appreciate you. We thank you very much for bringing us on board. We thank you sincerely. My name is Oyejide Sukomi. I'm the Chief Messenger, Youth Constituency in Ogun State. Thank you.
PDP! A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ina godiya ga Allah mai kowa mai komi da ya nuna mini wannan rana da matasa. Ina fatan mutanen da suka zo a nan, Allah mai da kowa gidansu lafiya. Allah ya gwada mana kuma mun watsa wannan taro lafiya. Da farko zan yi jawabi akan wannan.
Your Excellency, the incoming President of Federal Government of Nigeria, Your Excellency, the incoming Vice President, Your Excellencies, our leaders, and other party stakeholders that are here present. Your Excellency, it's a privilege and honor for me to be here to speak on behalf of the youth, particularly the youth of the Southeast PDP. Your Excellency, I want to really appreciate you for this opportunity given to me and opportunity given to youth. That we are going to wake up from slumber. Nobody will deceive us again. We are going to work very hard and make sure we are going to declare operation when you are pulling in it. Your Excellency, I want to make it clearly, sir. The entire youth of PDP in the Southeast, by privilege and my position as a youth leader of the PDP Southeast, I want to reassure you, before a couple of days now, you will see difference. Though His Excellency, the incoming Vice President, is aware, we're doing some certain things hiddenly to make sure that our people understand that PDP remains the only party that will save us from this economic dwindling. Your Excellency, don't be deterred. Our vote is going to let you know that we have been supporting you and we're going to support you again, because we believe when you win, that at the end of the day, power will come to Southeast. Nobody who should deceive us, we are very much aware of that. We're going to work very hard. We're not going to disappoint you. We will make you proud and make the PDP proud, so that we'll have a better Nigeria. Thank you very much.
I want to thank the party for composition of this youth council. We are rest assured that you, Your Excellency, the Nigeria again will sing the unity anthem that says, though tribe and tongue may differ, but in brotherhood we stand. I want to say that we are willing and we are assuring you that we will work assiduously to ensure that we win in all units, we win in all wards, we win in all local government, and we will bring victory back to PDP. His Excellency, sir, I want to let you know that the youth of PDP, the youth of Nigeria, are ready to vote PDP back to power. I want to assure our indefatigable youth leader that we are willing and committed to work with you in ensuring this victory. Thank you, and thank you, sir. God bless you all.
Thank you. Is titled Building the Future of Nigeria and how the youth are supposed to be part of the process. To speak about building the future of my country is to conjure up the ghost of a warrior. An Iroquois tree that stood tall in the forest, survived the axe, with broken branches that answers questions of vulnerability, with fallen dried leaves, creating a pathway leading to my heart, me, a citizen of a country whose hope lingers like the life of an antelope who wakes up every morning with its heart beating out its chest because it knows there is a cheetah out there it must outrun, else it becomes prey, praying every day that somehow we see the light and hope for the nation. To speak about building the future of my country is to recall handshakes between the Princess Alexandra and Sir Tafawa Balewa in the 1960s that held promises of generations, aspirations of what it is for a dream to come true, and answered prayer. To speak about building the future of my country is to revisit the words of Sir Nnamdi Azikiwe in 1959, where he said, "For 25 years of my life, I have fought for the freedom of Nigeria. Nigeria will gain independence on October 1st, 1960, and it makes no difference who becomes prime minister, whether me, Tafawa Balewa, or Awolowo. So long as Nigeria is free, I will be satisfied." To speak about building the future of my country is to celebrate the largest river in West Africa, the River Niger, that holds the name Nigeria at its core. To speak about building the future of my country is to acknowledge the resilience of the youth. So when a youth says, "I love my country," I love my country, but, because, words signifying doubt yet serving as a seal to conviction like, "But I forgive my kinsmen, and for my country I will represent." Like, "You broke my heart, but I still love you with all the pieces that looks exactly like that on the map of my country that connects us, yet most mistake it for scars, causing upheaval by digging up stories of injuries like, but I wish to be taken back to the times when the 521 ethnic groups, the over 600 distinct languages represented love and diversity, when animosity had no room, so we collectively put it out of the house like, but I wish to remember the times of the pyramids that was made up of the promise that earth did keep to us and ours flourished with life, that skyrocketed our economy, the groundnut pyramids. When the pyramids in Egypt stood no chance, had nothing to show but the weight of the dead on a living land. Our ancestors are gone, but we are not. Their time is over, but ours is now. We cannot go back to days of glory, but we can conjure up its ghost for inspiration. We can resent the government. We can resent this administration and the one to come. But if we do not hold ourselves accountable, engage in the process, Nigeria will never be green again. As I will always say, government cannot do it alone. It is an entity. Without all of us, it becomes an empty thing. And only through partnerships and collaborative relationships can there be an accelerated progress towards Nigeria's development. So when I speak about building the future of my country, I borrow the words of the Egyptians where they said, everything dies but time fears the pyramids. You and I are the pyramids. So show up in your grace, in your might, in your vote. Show up in your excellence in all that you are at the core of your existence. Show up because it is time to build the future of Nigeria with Atiku Abubakar. Come 2023, he is the man for the job. Thank you.
My fellow young people, young members of our party, I have the authorization of our grand patron, who happens to be the incoming governor of Osun State, His Excellency Senator Demola Jackson Adeleke. And of course, our two deputy grand patrons, one of which is my own leader, a senior comrade in the struggle, the current deputy governor of Edo State, Comrade Philip Shuaibu, and my elder brother, His Excellency, the former Deputy Governor of Zamfara State, Mahadi Muhammad Aliu Gusau, and of course, the other patrons to this campaign. There happens to be the Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, and my immediate successor, Right Honorable SKE Ude Okowa, to address this gathering and to say that this council and its members have the full blessing of our grand patron. The essence of assembling some of the best minds PDP have been able to pull together from across the various states, from across the various regions, is to ensure that this campaign is deepened across the youth strata of our party and across the youth strata of the country. In this campaign, we have the likes of the former Senior Special Assistant to the President on Youth and Students, Comrade Jude Imagwe, serving as Technical Advisor to the Council. My own leader, Senior Comrade Njuma Sarki, I saw him somewhere, former Zone A Coordinator of NANS, is also a Technical Advisor to the Council. And also, we have Comrade Chinonso Obasi, who happens to be the former National President of National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, who is also a Deputy Director to the Council. And of course, Comrade Tijani Usman, who himself is the former President of NANS. These, including a host of other notable names and other emerging leaders within the PDP, all our state youth leaders, all our zonal youth leaders, and other senior members of the youth struggle. We are here to ensure that the focal objective of this campaign is to elect Atiku Abubakar as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Whatever it will take to disseminate the information, to gather the votes, to mobilize the votes, to mobilize the base, and ensure that young people mainstream into this campaign is what this Youth Council is all about. We are confident that with the leadership that the Director of Youth and Student Mobilization will bring to bear, our current national youth leader, we are sure that indeed at the end of the day, by May 29, 2023, Nigeria will have a brand new youth-friendly president. God bless you all. Thank you.
Organize every As you are inaugurated today, you should know that the big responsibility laid upon you is to make sure that we clinch victory in 2023 election. This is an opportunity given to you to take your destiny into your hand. I'm talking to you, the youth. It's an opportunity for you because this National Youth Campaign Council is first of its kind. You can see the other party has no sense of this kind of thing. They are just copycats. I realize they also, after hearing that we are inaugurating a National Youth Campaign Council, they've initiated that. So what they do is what we always do. Youth Campaign Council is born out of the fact that the future of this country is because on you, not because of anything, but because you build a nation through the teeming youth population of that nation. And if you have a very credible teeming population of youth, you know that there will be development in that country. Our youth in the PDP are not like theirs, because I want to use this opportunity to also caution you while you are going about campaigning in various nooks and crannies of this country, not to behave like their own youth, which we've seen yesterday, the behavior of their own youth in Maiduguri, and this is what they always taught their youth, and I believe ours are law-abiding citizens. They are up and doing. They go for issue-based campaigns, and they have focus, and that's what we expect you to do. We have laid down the framework for you to campaign. Our previous achievements have said it all when we were in government during Obasanjo Atiku and coming into Eradua and Jonathan administration. Everything that has happened good in this country happened at that time. So you have parameters. Even now, the performance of PDP governors is also another opportunity for you to showcase, because if you look at our governors vis-a-vis theirs, you could see the difference is clear. I want to use this opportunity to congratulate you as we inaugurate you today. We are doing that so that you will go to the nook and crannies of this country to campaign for us, because the future is yours. And it's another opportunity for you to make sure that you have redressed what is happening in this country. It's another opportunity for you to belong, because the only party that has your interests at heart is the People's Democratic Party. When you go out, tell them what have they done. If you look at even from their appointments, you know that in that place you have no future. So I enjoin you to do your best. I think somebody is okay. Let me stop here and inaugurate the youth. Members of the campaign council should rise up If you know you are a member of this campaign council, you should raise up. Okay. You are hereby inaugurated as the members of National Youth Campaign Council of our great party. And you can collect your letter after this inauguration. You are hereby inaugurated. Thank you very much.
PDP! PDP! Power to the people. The National Youth Campaign Council of our great party for 2023 is hereby inaugurated by
Iliada Magu. Your Excellency, our presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, God willing. Your Excellency, our vice presidential candidate, a complete gentleman, a noble politician, and a youth-friendly politician. Your Excellency, the Director General of our campaign, Right Honorable Amin Waziri Tambuwal, Your Excellencies, the NWC members, Deputy Presidential Campaign Management Committee, Deputy Director, Field Operation, Senator Lial Imoki. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol already established. Your Excellencies, on behalf of the entire leadership and members of the National Campaign Council, I wish to sincerely thank the National Chairman of our great party, Senator Yoche Ayu, the Presidential Campaign Council, our dear presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, for finding us worthy to serve our great party in this capacity. On a personal note, Your Excellency, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, our incoming president 2023, inshallah. Let me mention here that I started supporting you in 2011 when you contested for the office of the president on the platform of our great party, the PDP. When the result of the election was announced, I watched it on television. What surprised me was your face was full of smiles while I was shedding tears at that time. That is when you defined yourself as a real Democrat. Anytime I was asked to define a Democrat, I mention your name because you are a perfect definition of the word. It is indeed a huge privilege and honor and a great responsibility to take up this assignment, and we pledge to serve with everything we have and to the best of our abilities for our great party, the PDP, and our dear country, Nigeria. Let me use this opportunity to congratulate my fellow appointees in the National Youth Campaign Council and remind them that this privileged appointment must keep us on toes until our principal, Atiku Abubakar, is sworn in 2023 as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is a fact that the youth of the country constitute the majority of voters, and it is our responsibility to cope all the nooks and crannies of this country, to look for them and deliver the message of hope which the PDP and our presidential candidate has for them. It is pertinent at this point to reiterate the paradigm shift in our campaign strategy. The strategy was directed by our principle that our campaign must focus on the polling unit. We must mobilize Nigerian youth at the polling unit and task them to vote and secure victory at the unit for our party. We welcome the former Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Abubakar Bukola Saraki. Oloy.
PDP.
Ladies and gentlemen, our job is not in Abuja, but in the local government and wards and also polling units, and we must all return to the grassroots. The late Damasanin Kano, Dr. Yusuf Metamasile once said, and I quote, "Youth are the vanguard of every revolution and the vehicles of change." But in our country today, Nigeria, we have been subjected to an unprecedented hardship and inhuman treatment. The students were kept at home for almost 7 months, and as I speak, their resumption in various universities is shaky as lecturers have threatened to return to the trenches because of insecurity of this APC government. We have a good product to market. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is the product. He is the hope for the youth, the only one who sabi the road, the tried and tested leader, the epitome of industry and educationist. Let us go and market him. For that, I call on you, my fellow youth, to go out and vote for Atiku Abubakar, to campaign for him aggressively at the state level and local government level. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to serve. Thank you.
But I have 5 minutes to discuss the 2023 Youth Agenda, a perspective and analysis of the youth policy of His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, GCON, Presidential Candidate, People's Democratic Party. My fellow Nigerians and my fellow youths, this is that opportunity that we've been waiting for. That opportunity where a presidential candidate, someone who wants to take us up from where we are to where we want to be, should bring us all together as Nigerian youths to discuss with us. Your Excellency, thank you for this opportunity. But because of time, the policy is going to be centered on the reset agenda of Atiku Abubakar and Okowa administration. What do we call the reset agenda? R represent reunification. Is there anybody here who have something contrary to say that Nigeria is united? Is Nigeria united or not? Are we united? Are we united? There have never been a time like this in the history of Nigeria. The reunification agenda of Atiku and Okowa simply narrows down to the fact that Atiku has clearly stated that the problem of Nigeria is not electricity, it's not bad leadership, it is lack of unity. If we are united as a people, we will come together to find problems facing our nation. And the Atiku Okowa project have reassured us that when they come into power, reunification, uniting Nigerians will be a priority. As a Nigerian youth, as a man from the southern part of Nigeria, a lot of things has kept me wondering. If a man like Atiku, who have over time been emphasizing on restructuring of Nigeria, do not have the space of becoming the president of Nigeria in 2023, I don't know what is going to become of this country. In one accord, we believe in his reunification agenda, that Nigeria will reunite again. That Nigeria will reunite again. The second E stands for economy. I don't know if you have a better person who can address the state of economy of Nigeria. But before I talk about the economy of Nigeria, please, can we just observe 1 second silence for the state of Nigeria economy at this present state? 1 minute, 1 second silence, please. A second silence, please. A minute of silence. May God Almighty give us Atiku Abubakar to resurrect the economy of this nation through Christ our Lord. This is what we are talking about. The state of Nigeria economy has already moved from the morgue down to 6 feet on the ground. And the only man, through his policy, through his own experience, the man who has managed wealth, the man that you may also know that is one of the greatest employer of labor in Nigeria and the West Africa, is coming to take over leadership. It is not a man. We are not looking for a man who will justify the reason why a bullion van should leave a bank and come down to give out money from his private house. We don't need such a man. We need a man who has experience in economy, who has chance of business running. That is how we expect him to run Nigeria. On security, a friend was discussing with me some days ago, and I clearly stated to him that the state of Nigerian security is so bad now that if we don't have a man like Atiku Okowa, whose policy on security centers more on state policing, Nigeria will be dead. But some of us may not really understand what state police is, but let me give a little light. State policing means what is happening in Ebonyi State today may not be able to happen again. What is happening in Ebonyi State? The Labour Party senatorial candidate, through the efforts of the security agencies, has been bundled into the prison through the help of what we call the federal might, through the state government. If Atiku Abubakar becomes the president, as he's going to be our president in 2023, the state policy he's talking about is there will be more power. The security system, the state will have more power to control their security. And also, you cannot know a man from nowhere to come and become your DPO of a police unit. It will be a man who is from your locality, who knows the in and out, and who knows the bad boys that will help to fish out anyone who is committing crime. You can't bring a man from nowhere who doesn't know the terrain to come and govern you. He will just be leading you through hearsay and perceived information. But the man who is born in your home, who is from your community, and who knows the terrain very well, knows the criminals himself. Can we give 5 votes of Atiku for this policy? After security is education. Spearhead education reform so it is driven by innovation, science, and technology. You will agree with me that the ASU strikes, the poor funding of education, all these things are coming up because our institutions are no longer innovative in nature. And we have had a man who says when he comes into power, he is going to make sure that our educational system become more innovative so that they can fund themselves. And devolving that the states and the region should fund education while they get funding and support from the federal system. Take a look at what happened in our own precious and cherished organization, the National Association of Nigerian Students. While ASU were on strike, the federal government of Nigeria, through their agents, were using millions of naira to sponsor someone to become a student leader. Why you cannot spend millions to send back lecturers to work? Is that the kind of leadership we want? Atiku Abubakar and our team did not get involved because we wanted the student leaders to do their bidding, produce a leader that will serve them. And that is exactly what he wants in the education sector. Education will be free for the primary and the secondary. For the tertiary institution, the reforms will give an edge that it will become research-oriented, that institutions will fund itself. True federalism. Our candidate, His Excellency, the Waziri of Adamawa, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Okowa, on their true federalism agenda, have made us understand that power will be devolved more to the states and to the local units. Every power will not be in the federal. And we have to give this account, we have to give this credit to Atiku Abubakar, because from the time My leader is here, Raymond Ekposi, who was a deputy chairperson, national confirming. Atiku Abubakar has been the only candidate in this country who has stand firm to speak in line with our confirmed recommendations. And when confirmed recommendations are implemented, the youths of Nigeria are going to rejoice. On that note, I don't want to take much of your time, but this is that right opportunity. This is that right time that Nigerian youths have been waiting for. We can't miss it. We can't miss this chance. We cannot in any way. And we want to assure you, Your Excellency. We want to assure you, Your Excellency. We want to assure you, Your Excellency, that Nigerian youths, your supporters, are not among those who are campaigning with emotions on the social media. Your supporters, your supporters are in the
my music travel.
Your supporters are in the bully unit.
I truly want to thank our youths and to congratulate them today. We have just witnessed the inauguration of the PDP Youth Campaign Council. I had the opportunity of going through that list, and I'm encouraged that there is great future for this nation. And that great future is rested upon the fact, by the grace of God, that PDP will take over the national government in 2023 with a tested leader who can turn things around as we rescue our nation and cause our nation to be recovered from all ills of the society and to recover from the illness vested on her by a very bad government. There is no doubt that the nation of Nigeria, as we see it today, particularly in the last 7.5 years, is not the Nigeria of our dream. And therefore, many of our youths are troubled about what the future holds for them. But I believe that we have an opportunity to begin to right the wrongs. And that means that there is great work for us. And that work belongs to all Nigerians, but particularly the youths of this nation and the youths in this hall and all other well-meaning youths of this nation have a great role to play. The future, obviously, is not bleak if only we make the right decisions. There is great hope for our youths. There is a great future for the youths of this nation. But what we require is a leadership that is able to take us on that path of recovery. I have looked around and I've spoken severally. Sometimes people believe that I'm overemphasizing it. There is only one man among the lost that can provide that leadership that can truly take us on the path of recovery. And that person is Atiku Abubakar. For a leader to truly take all along, he must be a leader that people can truly look up to. And it's a leader who exudes confidence in all that he does. That leader must be one that is calm. That leader must be one that will not lie to Nigerians. a leader who is able to speak the truth at all times, a leader who is ready to uphold the constitution of this nation and to respect all laws that exist, even the laws of the party. That is what we find in our candidate, our presidential candidate. And he's one man that believes that collectively we can build a new future for this country, particularly a great future for our youths. He's one leader that believes that all component parts of this nation matters, and that in his government and the government under the control of the PDP, there will be inclusion and no part of this country will be ignored. Inclusivity is very important if we want to build peace. And you cannot really have peace if you don't have justice. He's one man that we know that stands for justice at all times, and he believes in all, every component part of this nation. The same cannot be said about most of the other presidential candidates. I do not want to demean them, but that is the true situation. He has always spoken the truth to us. There are many lies from other presidential candidates, and they come out to speak to Nigerians, those things that they believe that some Nigerians want to hear. That is not leadership. People need not play on the intelligence of Nigerians. We must speak the truth at all times. That is the way to rebuild a nation that is in distress. There is no doubt that we're in distress at the moment, and I thank Comrade Obase for speaking to us about the youth agenda of the Atiku's administration. And I know that he's a leader that will recreate hope and make all of us work together, thinking together, and working together on the pathway to a much greater Nigeria. In the second stanza of the national anthem, it talks about helping our youth the truth to know. Today, some presidential candidates are busy lying to our youths. They are confusing the youths. I charge the youths in the campaign council at the national level and through them to the youth councils that will be established at the state levels and local government levels. Please go out there and try to re-educate our youths that they may know that in the Nigeria of today that is troubled and in distress, there's only one man that has the knowledge, the character, and the ability to be able to turn things around, working with all across the nation. And beyond that, the People's Democratic Party is the only party that is deeply rooted in all 6 geopolitical zones. Before now, we used to be 2 parties, the PDP and the APC. But we are aware that the APC has lost the moral right to claim to have strength in the 6 geopolitical zones. They cannot. Only the PDP stands in a pole position as at today. And we must get out there through our one-to-one contact, conferences and workshops, various meetings through the social media, be bold enough to speak about the PDP and its programs. Because our programs are genuine, and there are programs that we know that we have a leader that is able to implement those programs. We don't want copycats. And we will continue through his leadership to speak truth to Nigerians. Nigeria will yet grow again. Great lofty heights attained to build the nation where peace and justice shall reign. In government, Atiku Abubakar has promised that there will be a good presence of women and youths, and we believe him. And we know that is a man that will distribute the various positions in governance, though to competent people, but we ensure that all geopolitical zones are equally represented in government. He does not need to be told that, because that is the man that he is. Believing in this nation, believing in the collective will and participation of all in the march towards rebuilding a nation. And I thank God that I have the opportunity to work with him as his vice presidential candidate. There is a lot to learn in this nation. People may be in a hurry. Oh, it's not, we don't want the elders, we don't want the elders. If we're in the very, very climes across the globe where everything works, then it's easy. You can bring in anybody. But in a nation in distress, you need somebody who has a specialty, the experience. For those of us who are in the medical profession, we need somebody, a very, very senior consultant, a chief consultant, knowledgeable and experienced enough to cause us to recover from where we are. There is only one in the pack, only one in the pack, who is strong, healthy, intelligent, calm, and ready to be inclusive. And that person is Atiku Abubakar. May God bless you all as you go out there without fear, because we're in a commanding position to speak to Nigerians and to let them know why they have to go along with us.
Greatest Gosa, ever militant Kaka, insurmountable Soso, greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest. Everybody shower me for one time. I say shower me for 2 times.
Shower, shower.
For 3 times.
Shower, shower.
Otiko, kotiko. Otiko, kotiko. Otiko, kotiko. Otiko, kotiko. APC, yago. Yago, yago. Yago. Ayamalele, 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 ayamalele. Tinubu, ó fẹ́ jẹ̀bà tó lé, ó fẹ́ jẹ̀bà tó lé láì mọ́mí, ó fẹ́ jẹ̀bà tó lé. Ó fẹ́ jẹ̀bà tó lé láì mọ́. Peter Obi, ó fẹ́ lala skibo. Ó fẹ́ lala skibo láì lolo. Ó fẹ́ lala skibo láì lolo. Please clap for yourselves. After Sunday, I will not continue without appreciating Okowa as his vice president. I want to believe that flesh and blood did not reveal that to you. By the time I now ask questions, how did Atiku arrive on Okowa and why? And that is why Nigerian students, Nigerian youths, all of us, we know that he's a talent hunter. We now realize how he discovered Nasiru El-Rufai, how he discovered Adeshina, how he discovered Okonjo-Iweala, how he discovered so many others, including the present governor of Anambra State, Soludo. Okowa had aggregate 6 in 1974 from Edo College. Aggregate 6 that time is rare, it's a distinction. Not only that, Okowa came second in WIKELEAKS in the whole of West Africa. Okowa have a distinction in ORG from studying medicine in the Premier University of Ibadan. So you now know this man will discover you no matter where you are. Atiku is a talent hunter. Why do we have, and why are the youths of this country, the true youths, not the ones who have commercialized their consciences, not the 5,000 naira per rally youths? You are the real youths. Why are they supporting Atiku Abubakar? When I was growing up as a child in Kano, houses had no fences, even in the GRAs. Today we build fences. From putting mineral bottles as barriers, it became barbed wire, it became electric fence. From beware of dogs, you have beware of lion, beware of hyena today. We want to go back to those days that people will build houses again without fences. That's the reason why the youth are supporting Atiku. Today, our schools, no litmus paper, even in the laboratories. We want to go back to those days. Instead of having alternative to practical that they are doing now. We want to go back to those days where you will dissect a live frog and label. Not now that you will imagine and label. That is where Atiku Abubakar is coming. I will not belabor us with unnecessary commentaries and rhetorics. The man, Atiku Abubakar. Yesterday was in Maiduguri. We saw love from every side. Despite the fact that Alhaji Shetima, GCOB, Grand Commander of Bandits, exhibited banditry in Maiduguri. This man is a true commander-in-chief. The man was not perturbed, was not disturbed. He delivered the message, he gave the message, he entered his motor and came back to Abuja. No tension. That is the type of president we are introducing to Nigerians. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to call to the microphone the political husband of Emilokan, Baba we nowhere, come they shout Emilokan, and they shake, leg they shake, Baba we nowhere, come they shout Emilokan. Please, can we jam our hands together? Please, jam your hands together. Atiku Abubakar. Thank you. Please, can we jam our hands together to the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar?
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you. Power to the people, power to the youth, power to the women, power to all Nigerians, Thank you. God bless you all. Your Excellency, Governor Okowa, and the Vice Presidential Candidate, Your Excellency, Governor Aminu Tambuwal, the Director General of our campaign organization, Ambassador Umar Damagun, who is standing in for our national chairman, members of the campaign management team, members of the National Working Committee, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Before I proceed, I would please request you and appeal to you to rise for 1 minute silence in honor of late Umar Garba Chiza and our former national youth leader and Comrade Ario Atuye, convener, Coalition on Defense of Nigerian Democracy and Constitution. May their respected souls rest in peace. You may be please seated. To inaugurate a youth council. But this is no surprise because we are the oldest political party in the history of Nigeria. Since the creation of Nigeria, there has never been a political party as old as PDP. We are 20 plus years now. So we have succeeded in laying ground for a sustained democracy in our country. Therefore, you have a legacy to be proud of by members of this political party. Let me therefore charge you with the responsibility of making sure that you carry the message of the PDP to the nooks and crannies of this country. But fundamentally, the message is of a sustained democracy. This democracy, some of us fought it in all our lives. Many of us have sacrificed their lives. And today, you have a freedom of speech, you have freedom of movement, you have freedom of want, you have freedom of everything, simply because some of us have sacrificed their lives to make sure there is democracy in this country. This is the fundamental message we are expecting you to take to your nooks and crannies of your constituencies. Having said that, the Youth Council we have inaugurated today is another step to further enthrone democracy, sustain democracy in our country through our own political parties. Therefore, I will charge you to make sure that you mobilize all Nigerians, and particularly PDP supporters. You see, to be honest, PDP is the only political party. APC is not a political party. It's an alliance between CPC and Tinubu's party. It is an alliance. And we have seen how alliances in this country have disappeared overnight. I don't believe APC will survive after this election. We are going to vote them out. And by the time we vote them out, they will be dead. So, let me tell you, no matter your poor background, PDP will give you the opportunity to be anything to be whatever you want to become in your life. You know why I say so? Because for me, you see, those 5 points program, I sat down myself to write them. I did not ask any professor, I did not ask any doctor to come and write them for me. And if you study those 5 points, from national unity to security, to education, to restructuring, you will find that they seamlessly interconnect with each other. Seamlessly. Therefore, I want to assure you, no matter your poor background, no matter your position, PDP will help you realize your individual and collective aspirations in this country. Even if Atiku goes, another Atiku will come. So, members of the PDP Youth Council, as representatives of the youths who are in millions in this country and who are the most voters in this country, you have a responsibility, and it's not a small responsibility. Each and every one of you should go back to their states, should go back to their local governments, should go back to their wards, should go back to your polling units, and make sure you mobilize youths, you inspire them, you give them hope that all is not lost in this country. Of course, APC has come and dashed the hope of Nigerians in the last 7 to 8 years. We don't expect there will be any change anyway in the next 5 to 6 months. What we expect is that you will go back, take this job seriously. It is about your own future. It is about the future of your kids. It's about the future of your family. It's not about self. And it is about the future of this country. So, Nigerian youths, I charge you with that responsibility, and I congratulate you for being members of this youth council. From time to time, we may be increasing the number because we may not know all. Help us identify promising young men and women who can be part of this council. We are not all knowing. So we call on you to help us identify, no matter where they are, what they do, where they are located. Help us identify them so that they can be part of this movement.